Discover the hidden secrets behind the fascinating facade of Cuba, known as the largest of the Antilles. Beyond its breathtaking beaches and rich history, this country holds an intriguing reality that few dare to explore. Join us on a revealing journey as we dive into the dark world of prostitution on the island, where the lack of resources has led many women to offer services at shockingly low prices. Additionally, we'll analyze how this regime has managed to survive for over 65 years, defying expectations and confronting the challenges faced by its population, including these women who are forced to find ways to survive in a harsh environment. Join us in this fascinating exploration and discover the other side of Cuba, one that is rarely seen but is just as intriguing and revealing. Cuba, often called the Pearl of the Caribbean, evokes dreamy images of tropical paradises, pristine white beaches kissed by crystal-clear waters, and a history infused in every corner of the island. But beneath its vibrant surface lies a reality that's far more complex and intriguing. Officially named the Republic of Cuba, surrounded by the Caribbean Sea to the north, east, and south, and separated from Florida by just 90 miles of water, its strategic location has made it a pivotal point in history. However, its population has seen a dramatic shift. Official figures from 2021 estimated it at 11.1 million, but by 2024, reports indicate it has dropped below 10 million, with unofficial estimates suggesting it's closer to 8.62 million. What's behind this sharp decline? A staggering 18% of the population, nearly 1 in 5 Cubans, has left the island since 2022, marking one of the most profound demographic transformations in its history. Combined with a declining birth rate, this mass exodus is reshaping Cuban society in ways that were once unimaginable. The question remains, what is driving so many to leave? And how will this migration transform the island's future? To understand the harsh realities many women involved in prostitution face in Cuba, it is crucial to examine the historical backdrop of the Cuban Revolution. This movement, spearheaded by leaders like Fidel Castro, Raúl Castro, and Ernesto Che Guevara, arose as a reaction to the corrupt and repressive dictatorship of Fulgencio Batista. The revolution's seeds were sown in 1953 with Fidel Castro's audacious attack on the Moncada barracks in Santiago de Cuba. Though unsuccessful and resulting in Castro's imprisonment, it became the catalyst for a movement that would ultimately reshape the island's destiny. Under Batista, Havana became a playground for gambling and luxury, earning it the nickname Las Vegas of Latin America. Batista's government, rife with corruption, brokered deals with foreign investors to build hotels and casinos, enriching the regime while deepening economic inequality. The revolution's 1959 victory promised sweeping political, social, and economic reforms. However, the challenges persisted. The U.S. imposed economic sanctions in 1960, culminating in a formal embargo in 1962, exacerbating Cuba's struggles and straining its economy. Today, as Cuba strives to preserve its national identity and the revolution's achievements, it grapples with enduring social, economic, and political challenges. Against this backdrop, prostitution emerges as a stark symbol of the island's unresolved issues and historical wounds. Despite maintaining a Marxist-Leninist system and fostering alliances with nations like Russia, China, and Venezuela, the pressing question lingers. Was the cure worse than the disease? Prostitution, though not legally permitted, is widely prevalent and socially tolerated in Cuba. While authorities do not officially regulate it, they often overlook its existence as long as it remains discreet and avoids public scandals. Over time, it has become deeply embedded in the local economy. In fact, some state-run and private businesses, particularly in the hospitality sector, are believed to depend significantly on the income generated by this market. It is commonly said that without prostitution, the bar and restaurant industry on the island would face severe economic challenges. This complex reality underscores how prostitution has become an integral yet unregulated part of Cuba's socio-economic landscape. And it's not just the unique atmosphere of the Malecón that captivates visitors. Women also entice tourists, seeking clients as a means to navigate the harsh economic realities they face. The history of prostitution on the island stretches back to colonial times, thriving through the 19th and 20th centuries. In 1930, it was legalized and regulated until the Cuban Revolution in 1959. Fidel Castro, deeming it a remnant of bourgeois vice incompatible with communist ideals, sought to eliminate it through sweeping social and economic reforms. Yet these measures proved largely ineffective, and prostitution re-emerged in the 1990s during the economic crisis following the fall of the Soviet Union and the surge in tourism. Today, the socio-economic difficulties in Cuba compel many women and men to turn to sex work to make ends meet, whether to support their families or afford basic necessities like food, clothing, and footwear. This reality has fueled a thriving sex tourism industry, where foreign visitors, lured by the Caribbean's charm and low costs, find a wide array of services at remarkably cheap prices. Sex workers often frequent hotels and tourist areas, seeking foreign clients. Despite government campaigns and legal measures to combat human trafficking, these efforts have been insufficient to eradicate prostitution, which remains entrenched in poverty and economic disparity. The phenomenon extends beyond the streets. Many women form relationships with wealthier foreigners in exchange for financial support or gifts, navigating a blurred line between survival and personal agency. In Cuba, sex workers are colloquially known as jinetera, a term stemming from the French name Jeanette, popularized by French-Canadian tourists from Quebec. This linguistic adaptation reflects the resourcefulness of the Cuban people, turning foreign influences into culturally embedded expressions. A newer and more concerning trend involves the use of the internet to facilitate sex tourism. Travelers increasingly rely on online platforms to contact sex workers, sharing detailed reviews and ratings that commodify individuals and normalize exploitative practices. This digital shift has alarmed human rights organizations, which warn about the potential for these platforms to facilitate human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of women and minors. While sex tourism itself is not new, technology has amplified its reach, creating significant challenges in addressing this issue in Cuba and other developing nations. In conclusion, the story of prostitution in Cuba, shaped by its history and current hardships, underscores the deep social and economic fissures that persist on the island, reflecting a broader struggle for survival and dignity in the face of adversity. However, not all Cuban women turn to prostitution to navigate the island's economic challenges. Despite material shortages and persistent hardships, Cuba's education system offers a respected and valued pathway to building a dignified future through academic and professional development. Since 1959, the revolutionary government has prioritized education, making literacy and universal access foundational pillars of the Cuban state. Education is free and compulsory at the primary and secondary levels, and higher education, whether university or technical training, is also fully subsidized for all citizens. This system allows many Cuban women to pursue professional careers, leveraging the opportunities provided by public education. However, the ongoing economic crisis has prompted many to join the waves of emigration that began in the early years of the revolution, seeking better opportunities abroad. While the allure of quick financial gain through alternative means may persist, Cuba's strong cultural and educational traditions, often reinforced by families, serve as a vital counterbalance. These values keep alive the hope of achieving a more prosperous future through education, hard work, and intellectual growth. The challenges faced by Cuban women, whether through the hardships of prostitution or the struggle to build a better future through education, reflect the larger problems affecting the entire island. Their personal stories unfold in a country where life is getting harder every day, and hope is becoming harder to find. In the past 2 years, Cuba has plunged into a deep crisis. The government, led by Miguel Díaz-Canel, has been unable to solve the worsening problems. Power outages, severe shortages of food and basic goods, and broken promises of change have left people feeling hopeless. When people try to speak out or protest, they are often met with harsh repression. The government cracks down on protests, censors independent voices, and arrests those who criticize the system, creating fear and silence. For many Cubans, the only solution is to leave the island. Thousands risk everything to escape, looking for a better life away from a system that no longer offers them any chance for a decent future. The question now is not just about surviving, but whether the country can find a way to move forward. Cuba is at a turning point, with an uncertain future full of contradictions. Behind its beautiful landscapes lies a tough reality shaped by poverty and struggles. Prostitution, driven by desperation, shows the deep problems in a system that once promised fairness and equality. Still, the Cuban people's strength and creativity stand out. Even in hard times, they find ways to push forward, showing a spirit of hope and determination. While many leave the island searching for a better life, there is still hope that Cuba can overcome its challenges and rebuild its dignity. It's a country of beauty and hardship, reminding us of the cost of broken promises and the power of human resilience. What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and activate the notifications. And of course, share it so that others can enjoy it. See you next time!